Yo, yo, yo. This is Adam Gerard, LA Ghetto Time News, going on a rant. Going on a rant, man, where we deal with news topics, right? And so, without further ado, just want to get into it because I want to make this fast as I can, right? So, we want to deal with high blood pressure pill links to cancer. Yeah, that's right, fam. Y'all hear it. High blood pressure pills, which all of our people are basically on, right? Can lead to cancer. So soon as I heard this article right here, first thing I had to do was I had to go do some research, right? And so start diving deeper and deeper and deeper into the lagoon, right? And so I found the chemical that's in the high blood pressure pills. Now, first of all, if you have a component in high blood pressure pills that can lead to cancer, that lets you know off top that it's a man-made drug, man. Okay, so let's get that understood right there. And so, in these findings of this chemical that's in these high blood pressure pills, this chemical is also in the foods and the plastic and all that. And so, yeah, I know y'all say that, yeah, we been knew it's a chemical in the in the food products, in the plastic, in the water, but it's not identifiable, right? Because they deal with these big long words, right? And so this is a big long word, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce the word, but what I'm gonna do is show you the word, where you go on go on dictionary, voice dictionary, and sound it out, and then maybe you can say it, but I'm not going to get into that. So we just going to name them A, C, and D, right? And basically these three components are found in different products, but they all are from the same base family. And man, I'm like wow, I'm like this chemical right here is in bread, it's in baby nipples, the rubber nipple bottles, and the pacifiers, and bread, and cured meat. This is a chemical, and it's a waste product chemical. It's something that they collect after they done already mixed some chemicals together, and this is the waste product, and they use this and they put it up in certain things. I mean, my God, man. All for the love of money, man. All for profit, right? Cut costs, uh, get an extra buck in your pocket. You know what I'm saying? Millions of people at stake, and it's the same thing that they do in the medical world, right? When they give us these depleted medicines and pills and all of that stuff, you know, a quick concoction. You know what I'm saying? Never give you the full value of the natural herb that they use, because a lot of these medicines, they do use a natural fungus, herb, whatever you want to call it, bark tree, things of that nature. They do use these things. Like I was looking at Tylenol and all that stuff. They do use a component. I think they get it from China. It's a component, a root tree or something like that. Big manufacturing. They used to have it in America, and I think I forgot what tree that it was, but basically they killed all the trees, and so now they going to China to get another specific kind of natural healing agent, but it's at parts per billion. So it's to keep you going to the doctor. And then the funny thing about that is that I was also studying the pension plans, the average lifespan of Americans. You know what I'm saying, and all of these factors, and I'm just starting to see that they all work together, right? The AFDC, the pension plan, insurance companies, et cetera, right? And it even trickles down to the stores, the quickie marks, and all of this stuff. I mean, so it's nothing new what I'm telling you, but you know what I'm saying, I just want to give some insight on this. I'm not no brainiac or nothing, so it's just information that I just picked up, and those of you out there that might haven't heard about this, maybe this would be an eye opener, or to those who already heard it, you know what I'm saying, just keep it relevant and spread the message, you know what I'm saying? So basically I'm going to show you the key component that they use that's in everything that you name. And it's all about parts per billion. 0.19, for example, is found in drinking water and uh, alcohol. Alcohol, yes, 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 my peoples. Alcohol, man, a steady dose, and it's all about a steady dose. And this is to see. Uh, it's more profitable for you to die early than to live to 120 years old and things like that. Because when you start living past your age, now you got taxpayers paying for you, and they don't want to be paying for you. You know what I'm saying? You hogging all the money from Social Security and SSI and all of these things right here. So you know it's a live to die situation where people profit in the end, right? And so yeah, so basically just want to show you a couple of articles, man, and just get people informed, man. Me personally, man, I know a lot of people, man, that's on high blood pressure medicine. So what made me go into this little research right here is that I wanted to know the name and the manufacturing company, and and what you're going to basically get on the articles is that there's a specific manufacturing company that has a recall uh, 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 on their high blood pressure pills, but 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 the wider scope, or the or we what we have to understand is that just because they specifically giving you a manufacturing place doesn't mean that all the manufacturers are doing the same thing, because they all dealing with the same components. It's just different names dealing with the same chemicals, man. So when you find out that manufacturer, just like Jenny-O turkeys around Thanksgiving and all that, they was like recalls and all that. You know what I'm saying? That ain't just Jenny-O, right? I don't know why they just want you to focus on one company. That's a conspiracy to me. You know what I'm saying? So basically, man, we just want to give a little breakdown, man. I appreciate y'all, man, for checking out us Royal Ghetto Time News, man. I'm just trying to uh uh just stay current, man, with the information, man, and just stay relevant with all my fam out there that's pushing the message, man. And waking up those who haven't saw it yet. You know what I'm saying? I'm not in it for the fame, the rave, the the YouTube money and all that stuff. I don't care about all that. But basically, let's just get on with it and just show y'all a couple of things.
Blood pressure medications are
Life
the same.
saving. No, no,
But I mean, very, very, I mean, the same as cholesterol medications, and that
no,
they're popularly
no,
just prescribed.
no.
Okay?
They're essential. The main benefits of modern medicine in prolonging life has been antibiotics, vaccines, even though they're overused, um, treating high blood pressure, and toilets. We're not throwing our poop on the street anymore. Those are the main benefits, and some surgeries for acute life-threatening things like appendicitis.
Sure.
Those are the main benefits. The rest of them, a lot of it did more harm than good. Treating high blood pressure with blood pressure medicines is a critical life-saving thing. Having said that, it would be good to treat the natural things. Salt does not cause high blood pressure. In fact, if you decrease salt to the government recommended guidelines, the main benefit is that you die much younger and our Social Security system thanks you. But it's not high salt. Unless you're doing massive amounts of salt, if you go from the amount that the government recommends, you can go really low, you'll drop the blood pressure 0.8 of a point. In blacks, it's 2 to 3 points, a minimal amount. And then along the level that most people have, say 2 to 5 grams, you see no change in blood pressure. And then at super high levels, you see it going up. So have it in moderation, but salt restriction, no. Increasing potassium, now that's the key to lowering blood pressure. So eat a banana a day, 8 ounces of coconut water, half an avocado, 8 ounces of tomato juice. All of these will give about 500 to 600 milligrams of potassium. Increase your magnesium. 200 milligrams a day is a good way to do that. Get vitamin D, sunshine, or vitamin D supplement, 1,000, 2,000 units a day. All of these will help lower blood pressure as well, treat sleep apnea if it's present. However, if you don't take your medications and you have high blood pressure, you're a fool. Control it first with the medications, do the natural things. When it's under control for 3 months, then ask your doctor if you can lower the medication, come off them.
The FDA has recalled more than 1 million prescriptions of valsartan over the last 4 years due to the pills being contaminated with the cancer-causing agent NDMA. The most common injuries likely to be caused by ingesting this pill is liver cancer, kidney cancer, intestinal cancer, stomach cancer, bladder cancer, and acute liver injuries. To find out more about valsartan and how to get legal help, visit us at valsartan.law.
This material, dimethylnitrosamine, the simplest of the nitrosamines, was first produced on a large scale with the idea of using it as a paint thinner. Fortunately, before it could be widely distributed, its hepatotoxic and carcinogenic properties to the liver of experimental animals was observed, and it was immediately withdrawn.
Let's start with a story. When a drug first comes to market in the United States, its parent company can sell it exclusively under a brand name for a certain number of years. This length of time depends how many years are left on the drug's patent and the type of exclusivity granted at the time of approval by the FDA. When the patent or exclusivity runs out, other manufacturers can begin making a generic. The generic product is sometimes cheaper than the brand name version. This is probably why there's this pervasive misperception that generic things are generally not as good as the brand because they're cheaper. While this may be true about those weird store brand Fruit Loops with no bird on the box, the same logic can't really be applied to generic drugs. Here's why. Before a company can manufacture and market a generic drug in the United States, it must submit an abbreviated new drug application, or ANDA, to the FDA. This application includes data providing the generic product is both pharmaceutically equivalent and bioequivalent to the branded product. Pharmaceutical equivalence means that the generic drug contains the same drug compound as the innovator drug, as well as having the same strength, same route of administration, and same dosage form. To achieve bioequivalence, the generic product must have the same effect as the brand drug, meaning that the compound has the same action in the body in the same amount of time. But make no mistake, just because the brand and generic have identical drug molecules and are bioequivalent and pharmaceutically equivalent does not mean that they are the same in every way. That's because of excipients. Excipients are the inactive ingredients in a drug product, or the stuff that's milligram tablet of a popular allergy medication. If you weigh the tablet on a scale, it will definitely be heavier than 10 milligrams. That's because 10 milligrams is really tiny. It would be nearly impossible to make a drug tablet so small, let alone expect someone to take it. For example, a quarter teaspoon of table salt weighs like 1,500 milligrams. 10 milligrams is like less than 10 grains of kosher salt. Some drugs use less than a milligram of active ingredient even. Therefore, drug manufacturers will use approved compounds like lactose, starch, and microcrystalline cellulose as dilutants to bulk up tablets. Other excipients might help tablets disintegrate in the digestive tract or provide flavoring and coloring. The list goes on when you start including dosage forms like inhalers, patches, creams, and ointments. Generic and brand drugs will always have the same active ingredients, but their excipients may vary. One or the other may have slightly more or fewer types of inactive ingredients depending on their manufacturing processes. Coloring agents usually also differ, so products can distinguish themselves. But remember,
Okay, so let's deal with the generic information, right? Because now we identify through the videos, through research, that this component is a generic component, and then you see in the last video that I showed you that this component is basically what you would call baking soda to cocaine, right? Just a filler. And so this filler right here promotes cancer. This is the same filler that's in the high blood pressure medicine that's found up in food and other products, man. And again, this is all so the man can get an extra dollar in his pocket, right? So when we dealing with generics, the generics was basically made for the low income families of America, because the patent that the patent is the purest form. Now they still make the pure form, but you are getting the generic that's mixed with this goddamn component in here that gives you cancer, man. So let's go into the research of this. I'm gonna call it N or nitro because I just can't pronounce that like that, right? So is a carcinogenic radionuclide or radiation that promotes carcinogenesis, the formation of cancer. This may be due to the ability to damage the genome. We're going to show this is in your everyday products, and they're going by 0 point parts per million. So if you keep on continuing to drink a soda every day, eat potato chips every day, eat meat every day, the risk builds up till you can be a cancer patient. And so this feeds off of insurance companies, because basically insurance companies, for you to be qualified for insurance, you got to have something that they know that's going to kill you. What? You try to apply for insurance and you go get a checkup and they say ain't nothing wrong with you. Man, they don't even want you on there, man. They want somebody sick and they can get that money fast, because when they die, they split the cash, right? We know this, right? So we have to understand these things right here. So let's move on to the next slide. So let's deal with the parts per, right? So a comprehension and context to drinking water, right? Human exposure to the nitro from foods and beverages was modeled and upper bound was molded, and upper bound cancer risks were predicted for the United States and Canada, right? Approximately 0.5 to 10.8 cancer ingredients per million population from lifetime exposure to the nitro ingredient in drinking water were estimated, right? Lifetime exposure to the nitro from the major exogenous sources may result in 49.6 range 17 blah 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 cancer ingredients per million population, while meat products contribute the most 15.9 millions per parts, right? 10, 9 million. Drinking water may contribute approximately 1% to the exogenous, excuse me if I'm pronouncing that right, cancer risk that holds the 10th position among the 10th exogenous sources. So we're dealing with parts per billion. If you keep eating the same thing, you're building your way up to cancer. This is the same ingredient that's found up in the high blood pressure pills, man. And we're going to get to showing how it's in the food. Blood pressure medication recalled after trace amounts of cancer-causing chemicals found. Now, we have to understand that how long have they been using this nitro, right? How long have they been using this? And then they want to kind of like blame it on somebody whenever something gets leaked out or go wrong. They want to say, oh, it's a manufacturing company, it's a specific group, you know, because all of these manufacturing companies, which are hundreds of thousands of them, you know, making profit right off of generic modifications, you know, off the patent, generic, generic feeding off the patent, right? And as I showed you before, the guy is explaining that they do the same things, they work the same way, but one has a purer form and one is watered down by a gang of different agents, right? So a pharmaceutical company has been recalled blood pressure medication after detecting traces amounts of cancer causing chemicals. The nitro, right, which is a substance that occurs naturally in certain foods, drinking water, and air pollution and industrial processes, has been classified as a probable human carcinogen. Excuse me if I ain't pronouncing that right. And so basically what they talking about right here is, don't get fooled of thinking that, okay, we have to understand that there are natural things that you can ingest in your body that can quickly kill you. And I was just thinking about that, right? And this is how I know that cancer is a patent, right? Which it is a patent, just like HIV is a patent. And you can see the same nucleotides up in cancer. You can see it up in AIDS and HIV. I'm gonna present that video on the SV40 virus, with which you would call HIV or AIDS, and basically showing you that it's cancer. And so it's a generic cancer out there, man. And they know how to boost it up. See, this is when insurance come into play, and pensions and all of these things. Like, you're predicted to die at a certain age. So when you're dealing with your pension, you might don't even outlive your pension, right? You can die before your pension, right? Just like when you're dealing with insurance, right? They have a as I stated before, when you go in there and you get that physical, you gotta like be sick to get the full benefits, because if you ain't sick or nothing, they just pay us $10 a month or something like that. We don't need you. You're not making our predictions, man. People gotta die every year so people can get money. You know what I'm saying? And so this is crazy. So when they talking about the drinking water and the air pollution and all them things, I mean, you can hear air pollution, but they say naturally occurs in certain foods. So basically, if you eat an old pig that's been stinking, because basically when we dealing with this this chemical, we're dealing with carbon. And so basically carbon gives off gas, right? And so we can see this naturally, if you eat some spoiled food or something, you can see instantly that your stomach tighten up, and you can get sick off of eating raw meat and all that, right? And you can potentially die. And this is the same thing that goes with generic drugs, that they know how to they actually figured out a way to give you high doses and low doses. That's crazy, right? Let's just say if we was eating some fruit, if you eat a steady dose of apples, you're going to get the same nutrients and the same balances and the same parts per million every time you eat that apple. They basically giving the underprivileged out here in America, they basically giving them cut medicine. What, to keep you coming back? What, to keep to keep benefactors benefacting, right? And so let's move on, man, because I'm really pissed off this stuff, man. Now, so watch this right here. Now I'm gonna show you, as you can see right here, we're dealing with what's the famous website right here? Let me see if I can go up. Oh, this slide. This is my slides. Forgive me, audience. Okay, we dealing with. I mean, it's the journal. Y'all know this website right here, right? Medical journal right here. So, daily intake of the nitro from food and beverages in France in 1987 to 1992. This is they already knew about this stuff in 1987, man, to 1992. They was doing research on this stuff, man. They already knew that this component was up in the high blood pressure pills and up in the food, man. They already knew. Now watch this. Let me show you how they already knew. The nitro contamination was determined in 556 food samples and 72 beverage purchases in eastern France from 1987 to 1992. Nitro was found in 427 samples. Data admits enabled the first estimation to be made in France, and just showing y'all right there, right? So they was doing this in 1987. Let me see. Okay. Let me see. Here we go right here. Estimations to be made in France of the main daily intake from French food beverages, right? 1/3 of the daily exposure resulted from a consumption of alcohol beverages. This is where you get artificial beer, generic beer. Anything you see generic, it got it in here, man. I mean, so the guys can get an extra dollar in their pocket, right? How rich do you want to be, right? These people are some of the wickedest people on the face of this planet, right? You know, as I stated before, rubber baby nipples contain this chemical in it, man. And according to them, parts per million. Long as you don't exceed this, you straight. But if you take a steady dose, as they stating up in the high blood pressure pills, a steady dose can lead to cancer. Man, ugly world out here, man. And so this is a PDF right here. And so basically, how might I be exposed to this nitro chemical, right? It can be found outdoors, air, surface, water, river, lakes, for example, and that's the natural process of it, right? This is the natural world. So what they like to do is they try to tell you, they like to do this a lot. They like to tell you that, well, this is a natural component, so we're not in a science lab making this, because it's natural. You can find this naturally on Earth. But shit, our common instinct tells us when we smell something or see something that's not right to don't do it, right? So therefore, we can't just sit here and blame nature of why we got cancer, because that's basically what they trying to get to. They trying to get you to to think that nature causes cancer. That's the big old hoax. That's a hoax right there, man. That's a whole eschatology on that right there. You know what I'm saying? Going to the spiritual realm on that right there. Of like nature did create cancer and all that stuff right there. Darwin's theory and all that thing right there. You know what I'm saying? So it's it's in it's in human exposure to tobacco smoke, chew with tobacco, diet, cured meats, beer, fish, cheese, other foods, cosmetic products, shampoos, cleansers, interior air or cars, various household goods such as detergents and pesticides. Man, what the fuck? I mean, you straight just, you got this in everything? Oh, man. I mean, like, hey, I told you, man, it's a circus ring, man. The insurance company, Social Security, SSI, all them. This is a circulatory system. A gonna shoot you to B gonna shoot you to C gonna shoot you to D, and then that's your final death, and everybody get paid off of you, man. Wow. I mean, you know, Social Security got something to do with your pension. Like how many years you work. What they say, you got to work over 30, 40 years to get a pension. Some don't even make it to 22,000. So your pension will be like, they'll pay you for about 5 years, pay what they owe you and all that. Then you get on Social Security. You always in debt. Ever since you was born, you was in debt, man. So don't never think that you ain't debt. They always get money off of you. You be like, well, the taxpayers are paying for my Social Security and America loves us and all of that stuff. No. They're taking away from you. When you get an income tax, you make $23,000. You don't get $23,000 back, man. You get 6 or 7, man. Come on, man. Everybody getting paid off of you, man, including this damn pharmaceutical companies, man. Which Hilly and all them made the HIV virus and the other strands and all that, right? You know what I'm saying? Okay, so let me see. It's in a variety of foods. Infants may be exposed to the nitro from the use of rubber baby bottle nipples, infant formulas, and then we have another generic form of this right here. It's a pesticide manufacturing, tire manufacturing plants. So that means if you eat a tire, you can get sick, and that's what I wanted to bring up on how they modify cancer, where they can induce it on you and they can lower it. Because if it's in a tire, right, and let's say you chew on the tire and all that, and you swallow that tire and all that stuff, you know, eating that tire, man, that will tear your stomach up, man. I'm talking about you gonna go into convulsions, and man, you gonna die, man, in about a couple of days off that tire, man. So they know the doses, the parts per million to give you. And my personal opinion is that when you go in retirement, they know you're about to die and all that stuff, and then you start going up in there, you on the SSI and all that stuff. When you start going up in there, they start upping the dose on you, because you just don't see it. When you get older, you start getting sicker. You taking the medicine, but you still getting sicker. What the fuck is that? So I'm not gonna even pronounce this right now. You know I'm already messed up on pronouncing other stuff, but we're gonna call that the A right there. Manufacture, use industries, fish processing, and it's also in fish processing industries, man. Man, this is and basically, audience, the component of this nitro, when they get it in this pure form, is yellow. They say it tastes sweet. It doesn't smell, but then when it hits the sun, they say the rays of the sun will like kill it. it can go in the dirt and you can bury it and it'll die out. You know, basically you lose its properties, right? But if it's finely manufactured in the way that they want it to be manufactured to where it goes into your body and it takes effect and it lives, right? So they say exposure to sunlight and air and all that'll kill it. But if it go in your body, it lives, man. And it mutates, man. Oh. Whoo. So, man, I mean, shit, man. You know, we gotta change your diet, man. Just like, don't eat different foods all through the week, because some foods have higher contents of this nitro chemical in the foods. It's better to eat home foods where you can like boiling kills 99% bacteria. If you're gonna cook, make sure your meat is extra crispy and use some virgin. Bro, man, you using grease with grease. Wait, the meat gonna produce grease and then you put some grease in there too? Come on, man. We gotta change our way of living, man. You know what I'm saying? And so just wanted to show you that this same nitro is up in foods and it's also up in the high blood pressure pills. And what kind of world do we live in, man? Man, I mean, these guys like mad rocket scientists. They even tell you that they used to use this for rocket fuel for the space shuttles, but they stopped using it because it got into the air and it didn't die out the air. Like it was traveling to people. Coal mines use this. All type of manufacturing companies use this right in your backyard, giving you cancer. They know it. But they try to say parts per million, greenhouse gases, global warming. All this stuff is hoax right here, man. It's a process that humans have to go through. They don't want no 120-year-old person living in America. What can you benefit off a 120-year-old person? All he doing is sucking money out your pockets, right? The taxpayers, right? And I ain't talking about you and me, because we don't give a damn with the money. I mean, if they gonna take our money, we would like it to go to these people. But we talking about these fat cats where they can make an extra buck off you not even living out your pension. Because when you die and your pension ain't over with, if don't nobody under 18 come claim it and all that stuff, goes right back to the fat cat's pockets. And remember, you are on the stock exchange. Your social security number is on the stock exchange. You got people that's betting on you. Shit, he ain't gonna live to 40. Shit, I bet he lived to about 60. Bet I give him this credit, he gonna go in debt. Bet I give him this credit, he gonna pay his debt. He gonna be straight. Bet. Oh man, how much money do you want? The people deserve to live an organic life, man. A natural life. If I was president, I'd get rid of all this plastic. I'd get rid of all this stuff. We wouldn't even be using this stuff no more. Because when you really think about it, they in debt to foreign countries. And being in debt is all about you don't have the resources. They're getting resources from everywhere else because they don't have it no more, because they destroyed everything. That's why this economy is in debt. That's the simplest way to explain it to you. So yeah, man, just want to just sharing my mind with y'all, man. So man, do some research on this, man. I'll shine my video, man, and man, really give it to the people, man. This is Adam Gerard, LA Ghetto Time News. Where I'm at. Let me see. Where am I at? Okay, we right here. Going on a rant show. I appreciate y'all for paying attention. You know, and just stay informed, man. Love, peace, and hair grease. Shalom.